Hello folks, it's the Chaser again. Welcome to the model review video, and this time we've got the Northcord Model Company Scania Omnicity double decker, and the one that we're reviewing is UK Bus 9501 in the livery of National Express West Midlands, one of the many heritage liveries that they've had over the years. This one in West Midlands PTE colours. So regular viewers might want to sit down because we've got a brand new model, not a second hand one, and I've paid slightly more than I needed to for it as well, which I'll explain later on when we come to the price. So I'll take it out of the box first of all. As always with Northcord, just a cardboard outer, and if we just slide the plastic box out like that, you can see on the tray, in case you want to display it like this, you've got the catalogue number and the operator. You've also got a little note saying it's one of 1,200 pieces. You don't get a certificate anymore with these, you just get that, so you don't know which one it is of 1,200. You don't get a number certificate anymore, you just get told how many they produced. So we'll take it out of the box with a little bit of difficulty. So it's retained in the box by this little plastic tray that goes between the bus and the top of the box, and then when you take the nut off, it just lifts off the base like that. It's just on some locating lugs, so there's no screws to undo. It is quite simple, and there it is in all its glory. So the Scania Omnicity, when double-deck low-floor buses came to the United Kingdom, it looked like Scania weren't going to be involved. The first people to introduce one were DAF with the DB250 LF. Then I think in order were Dennis with the Trident and Volvo with the B7TL, but there was no Scania low-floor model. That changed in 2003 when they introduced the N94UD. They had sold quite a lot of single-deck low-floor buses. They'd been quite active in the low-floor single-deck market, just not the double-deck. But the N94UD, a double-deck version of the L94 single-deck chassis, came in 2003. They were initially offered with the East Lancashire Omnidecker body. They went into partnership, did Scania, with East Lancashire to offer the Omnidecker, which basically had the windscreen and the lower front supplied by Scania. So they looked like that, whereas the rest of the bus looked like the standard East Lancashire product, as demonstrated by this Corgi OOC DAF, which I've also done a review of. After a couple of years, Scania wanted a bigger slice of the pie, so to speak, so they decided to offer the N94UD with their own bodywork. They built it at Słupsk in Poland. Sorry to my Polish viewers if I've mispronounced that. And the chassis morphed from the N94UD to the N230UD and then to the N270UD. The difference, I think, was the emissions levels. Some of them were, Euro 3, 4, etc. The Omnicity offered a complete low floor, a flat floor, with no steps or ramps and things, and that was its kind of unique selling point. The engine was in the back corner on the offside, as you can see by the engine ventilation grills that are modelled there. So there are only 3 seats across the back on these because the engine compartment sort of stuck into that side of it. But yeah, offered a flat floor. They did a single deck version of it as well, which Northcord also modelled, and I'll review that separately. Going back to the Omnidecker, the East Lancashire product, Britbus did do a model of that, and again I'll do a review of that when I get one suitable for reviewing. Many of the Omnicity double-deckers that were sold in the UK went to London. 462 went to London operators. And then when London finished with them, they were scattered to the wind, and they went to operators up and down the country. Obviously not all of the production went to London. National Express West Midlands, as you can see, bought some, and I think Go South Coast bought quite a few as well. So the model was introduced by Creative Master Northcord. It was the last new casting that they developed before they went bankrupt. So 7 were released, 7 different releases between February of 2010 and January of 2013. And then Northcord Model Company bought the products of Creative Master Northcord and relaunched as a new company. And they have so far, up to the press when I'm releasing this, I'm recording this, in July 2025, up to press they've done 6 releases starting in October 2023. And with the last one at the moment, December 2024. 5 out of those 6 have been commissioned by Model Buses Creations, and this is the only one at the moment that hasn't been commissioned by anybody. It's a standard Northcord release. Obviously, if you're watching this years into the future, they probably have done far more of them by then. But yeah, up to press as I'm doing this in July 2025. This is the only one that's been done on standard release rather than commissioned by Northcord Model Company. So as we said at the start, it's catalogue number UK Bus 9501. It was released in October of 2023, and as we saw from the plinth it was on, 1,200 were produced. It represents National Express West Midlands fleet number 4780, registered BU08EHZ. The rail bus was delivered new in February of 2008. It actually arrived carrying a number BV57XLB, but it didn't go into service straight away. It went into service in March 2008, by which time the registration numbers had changed from 57 to 08. So it was re-registered as BU08EHZ, the number it carries before it entered service. It was a Scania N230 UD chassis, and it went new to Perry Bar Garage in Birmingham. It was new in standard livery, the white with kind of, it had a red and blue sort of swoop going up it, and then after a few years it was repainted into the red front and white behind livery that was standard for National Express West Midlands. I believe it worked from Perry Bar Garage for all of its career with Natex West Midlands. In 2019 it was repainted into Heritage livery, the one it carries here as modelled. West Midlands Passenger Transport Executive livery, the one that was carried by some Metro buses and I think Volvo city buses in the 1980s in this rather nice style. One unusual feature of the livery was this very, very small fleet name. That's the actual size it was. It's a little West Midlands fleet name just in the middle of the side. It's hard to think of another livery where the fleet name is so small. It was chosen to be repainted because it was named Brian Robinson. Now, Brian Robinson was a long-standing driver at Perry Bar and an instructor as well, indeed. But sadly he died of cancer shortly after retiring. Now his name had been carried by 4781 sister vehicle, but unfortunately that bus was written off after a road traffic accident in November of 2017, and the name was transferred across to 4780 when it was still in standard livery. But because it carried his name, it was decided to do this one as one of the heritage repaints. As I said, there's been quite a lot of heritage liveried vehicles in the National Express West Midlands fleet, and there still are as I'm doing this. But they have about 1,400 buses, so you know, a few in different liveries doesn't really harm the corporate identity, shall we say. So we'll have a look at the model itself. We'll have a look around. Just before we look around, by the way, just to finish the story of the bus, it was withdrawn from service with National Express West Midlands in October of 2024. It was stored briefly at Miller Street Garage in Birmingham, and it was sold to Connections Buses of Tockwith in North Yorkshire, who still operate it in this livery, complete with its fleet numbers and West Midlands names. It's just got Connections Buses fleet names on the side. Now it's got advert frames in real life, and the Connections Buses fleet names are fitted into those. But it's still in service in Yorkshire in this livery at the moment as I'm doing this. So we'll start with the front. The signature feature of this body was the big front window, and that's captured really well in this view. In this model, should I say, as you can see. The between legs panel is nice as well. You've got this shaped effect going on here, which again is a feature of the rail thing. And the blind, as you would expect from a Northcord model, is behind the glazing material, as it would be in real life. It's on route 67 to Birmingham. Fleet number printed nicely up there. The big single piece windscreen. You've got the wipers there at the bottom. They are there and separately fitted, but because they're black against the sort of dark background, you can't really see them that well. One slightly strange aspect that I wouldn't expect from a Northcord model is that, I don't know if you can see it on the video, just try and get the camera to focus. That's a little bit better. The lights are moulded as you would expect, but they're not actually picked out in a different colour. So they would benefit from a little dab of silver paint. Again, it's not the kind of thing you expect with Northcord. The indicators are done so they look like glass. They look quite nice. But yeah, the headlights are just not picked out, which is strange. They're done in blue. Very, very odd. But hey, it's only a minor thing. We can sort it out. Registration plate printed on there. The bumper looks quite decent. And you've got these mirrors. That one's just asking to be snapped off, isn't it? The near side one, this massive arm. I mean, that's how they are on the rail buses. And no doubt drivers in real life worry about snapping them off. But yeah, a model to be careful with, because obviously just knock that and it'll go. The driver's side one a little bit less vulnerable. So we go around to the near side again. It all looks very good. It looks like it should do. The big windows, which are a feature of this, there is some relief to it all. The window pillars and things, it's not just printed on. There is some relief to it as well, which you can't really see on the video, but yeah, it is there. And it all looks pretty nice. The wheels look good, if a little bit plasticky to be fair, but they don't look bad at all. Door looks nice. Handrails on the inside. Again, the blind there behind the glazing, and you've got a sticker there with all the fares information on it, as the real one would have. Very nice feature and good to see. That's its name there, Brian Robinson, the little nameplate, and then you've got the legal lettering underneath, the address and the unladen weight, which I'm sure are legible if you've got a magnifying glass, but I haven't got one on me at the moment. Little side marker lights there, nicely modelled. There's some relief to those. The CCTV camera just printed on at the back there, but again, it looks good. You can't really tell it's printed unless you rub your finger over it like that. So it looks pretty good. And the back captures the look as well. Emergency exit window, the panel mouldings there, look. And again, the blind behind the glazing material. Representation of the repeater lights up there. The little tiny back window. Registration plate in the middle on the outside, as it would be. And then this is where the engine would be on the real thing. Got the bonnet, engine cover assembly there. Some little grills on it and things which look good, as the handle to open it. The lights look pretty decent as well. All very nice. As does the back bumper. Going round to the offside, you've got the engine ventilation grills there. Emergency exit looks pretty decent. You've got a bit of a catch there, presumably to open a panel or something like that. Exhaust cut out with the exhaust done in black, which is nice to see. A lot of manufacturers tend to do it in body colour, which looks a bit iffy. And again, the windows look really good. Big staircase panel, again with a ventilation grill there. And the driver's signalling window looks nice. CCTV camera printed on. But yeah, it all looks very good indeed, and you've got the name on it again there, Brian Robinson. Going to the roof, there's not a lot to report, as there wouldn't be on the rail one. You've got a couple of vents at the back there. I'm guessing it should have a tree guard somewhere. I'll have a look in the box for that. It's got the hole where it goes, and the plastic tray that holds it to the box has got the cutout to clear it, but it's not actually fitted to the bus. I haven't seen it in the box, but I will have another look and see if it actually comes with it. Possibly it doesn't. Chassis, you've got the basic detail in there, the chassis framework, bits and pieces of the suspension, and it all looks quite reasonable. The wheels are fixed on this one, they don't stay as they do on some models. And the interior looks nice. You've got the handrails done in different colours, the side panelling done in different colours, the seats picked out as well. As you can see, they've got a good moulded shape to them, and it all looks very nice indeed. You wouldn't need to paint the interior on this one, because there's a number of different colours going on. There's a light blue on the floor, darker blue for the seats, as I say, grey for the staircase and the side panels and things. It looks very, very nice indeed. So how much will one cost you? Well, I paid £65 for this, and you can find out in a minute. You can get them cheaper than that. But the reason I did it, I wanted one of these anyway. I've wanted one of these for quite a while. I didn't actually like this type of bus when it came out, back in sort of the mid-noughties as they're called now. I didn't like the design of it, but it's one of those that's grown on me. Part of it was that I'd not seen any in real life. I'd just seen pictures of them. But as the London ones came out of service and got spread through the country, they started to appear with more local operators to me. At the minute I'm based in Grimsby. You can see them in Grimsby from PC Coaches of Lincoln. They have a depot in Grimsby from where they do school work, and they've got some of those allocated to Grimsby. Grayscroft of Mablethorpe have a couple as well that they use on ordinary service into Grimsby. And if you go down the road to Scunthorpe, Hornsby's of Ashby have got some as well. And they have grown on me. I really like them now, hence why I've splashed out 65 quid on a model. I like this West Midlands Heritage livery. National Express West Midlands is one of the operators that interests me, but I haven't really modelled them because I haven't got a lot of space for any more dioramas and things, and not that many more models, to be honest. And you've got to draw the line somewhere, but yeah. So I've wanted one of these for a while anyway in this livery. I'm half tempted to stick Connections Bus's names onto it and model it as operated by them, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, you don't need to pay £65 for one. I've looked on eBay for the purposes of the video. As I said, I'm doing it in the middle of July 2025. And the cheapest one I could find was £53.99, including postage and packing. So that was quite decent. The most expensive was £249.99, including postage and packing. That was the plain red dual door version. Some of them were dual door, some of them were single door, the models that were produced. And a plain London red dual door version will set you back £250 on eBay at the minute. The only one, the cheapest one by the way on eBay, £53.99, was this one, the West Midlands. And the only one Liz Keefe, the model shop in Eastbourne, had available for sale was this West Midlands one at £55. Postage will be on top for them, about £4 I believe it is, so you're looking at £59, £60 from Liz Keefe for it. So why did I pay £65? Well, I bought this one from a stall at the Bus Garage Open Day in Grimsby, and it was the first event we've had of that type for quite a while around here. I just wanted to support the traders who turned up there, so I thought, well, you know, I'll bite the bullet, paid a little bit of extra money, and then I'll support the traders, and hopefully, if they do well enough, we'll get more events like that locally to me in the future. So that was my logic. Plus, it means I don't have to sit and wait for a parcel to be delivered, because I just walked home with it, basically. So that's why I paid a little bit more. But if you want one for yourself, so anyway, about £54, £55, usually postage on top, but somewhere between like 55 and 60 if you want one at the minute as I'm doing this brand new. Just be warned, it's one of those models that when it gets on the second-hand market, the prices will probably go up because people tend to bump the price up. So at the minute you can buy them new for that, £55, £60, but probably in the future you'll find that they're clearing 100 and things like that. They do tend to go up to these Northcord models, so it's cheaper to buy them new if you possibly can when they first come out, rather than wait for the prices to go up on the second-hand market. I very much doubt that plain red dual door one that was £250 second-hand on eBay was anything like that much when it was brand new. Anyway, that is it for this one. As I say, I will do the Northcord single-deck Scania Omnicity at some point. I'll also do the Britbus Scania Omnideck at some point as well, so watch out for those on my channel. But for now, as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.